Hello YouTube, this is Afro Man from Team Island MTG with a blue-red deck tech today. This isn't Delver, this isn't Storm, this is a basic blue-red build where you spend $50 on this in Modern and then build on it from there. Let's go ahead and get into these super low to the ground creatures. We've got 4 Lightning Berserker because we're not running the prowess deck, so we don't really need a bunch of Swift Spears. So we're going to lean on Lightning Berserker for the dash because sorcery speed removal doesn't work so often. And her first ability, the +1/+0, is really good if you have extra mana and you've only got 1 on the board. Jeskai Sage, we like the prowess, but he's really only there for card draw. And Eidolon of the Great Revel protects us from low to the ground decks like this. So he's kind of our red button, our panic button. We're going to slam him down, but only when we need to. Next we have Jeskai Elder, which is also only there for the card draw. Not really caring about the prowess, but it's a 2-drop and it's a 1/2, so we're not too mad about that. We've got Monastery Swift Spear. I don't need to harp on this very long. It's got prowess, which is fantastic. We run 20 instant speed spells that are fantastic. And then we've got Foundry Street Denizen. We have the 2 goblin producers in our deck, so his ability isn't quite what we're going for, but this is only a base build, so if you like the goblins or the tokens, you can bounce the blue and then end up putting in even more goblin spells, run more Foundry Street Denizens, and be happy with your deck. We've got Zephyr Scribe to round out our creature base. He's really only there for that ability to draw and then discard so we can find our gas when we need it. But he's a 3-drop, so he's not always as useful as we'd like him. And he's also good fodder for not Molten Vortex, but if we need to discard or sacrifice something, he's probably the first to go. Let's go ahead and get into our burn spells. We're going to run a 1-of Magma Jet because the Scry is nice, and when your damage and mana ratio equal, I mean, it doesn't always hurt, but it's not bad either. Next, we've got 2 Arc Trail. It's 2 mana for Magma Jet, but without the Scry, you get to do an additional damage, so I can hit somebody's face for 2, burn their only creature for 1, and then swing in with a prowess-triggered Monastery Swift Spear, and do a lot more damage. I like the spread damage, and that's why I'm running 2 of those instead of Arc Lightning, which is a 3-drop for 3 divided damage. I like that it's only a 2-drop. We've got a playset of Shock. Yes, I am aware that Lightning Bolt would be better. Lava Spike would also be better, but this is a budget build, and Shock is super cheap, so we're going to run 4 Shock. We've got 4 Lightning Strike. Also Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt would better replace that, but, it's cheap. We've got 1 Searing Blood that I've got left over from an old mono red deck in Theros, so that's why that's here, and it's also really good. The spread damage is fantastic. Next, we're going to run into our gas, or just the things that kind of keep us moving. Fleeting Distraction is a 1-drop, and it's really just for card draw. We're not really worried about that ability because making guys smaller isn't what we're here for. Days Undoing really just works well with Molten Vortex and gets our hand full and just fills us back up with all those burn spells that we just used. Void Snare is probably one of our only legitimate removal spells. It's a 1-drop, it's a sorcery, but you get to throw something back in somebody's hand, which is fantastic. We've got 2 Anticipate. We all know what Anticipate does, but you look at the top 3 cards of your library, pick 1, put it into your hand, and the rest go to the bottom in any order. I'm going to run 2 of those just so we can dig to burn, but not very often that we're looking just to dig for burn. We've also got Clutch of Currents, which is also like Void Snare, but it's got the Awaken ability. If we're casting this for its Awaken on turn 5, we've already lost the game. Let's just go ahead and put that out there right now. We do not want to have 5 available mana to spend on turn 5. Stubborn Denial and Dispel are our only counter spells in the main board, and they pretty much do the same thing. Dispel only targets instants because we don't really care what our opponent casts. We just want to make sure our spells resolve. So Stubborn Denial is for maybe a negate or a cancel on Monastery Swift Spear, and Dispel is for all the negates and Stubborn Denials and Dispels that they'll use on our burn spells. We're going to roll over into our last gas type spell, and that's Molten Vortex. 1 mana to 2 damage is fantastic. And we've got a lot of land to just pitch away once we get to turn 4, turn 5, so that's a really, really good card, but not good enough for us to run more than one of in this specific build. Our mana base, we've got 3 Shivan Reef, 5 Islands, and we have 13, not 13, we have 4, 8, 12 mountains with, excuse me, woo! 12 mountains, 5 islands, 3 Shivan Reef to make out a 20 land base. Yeah, so we'll upload gameplay videos of this deck ASAP, and thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, show your friends, and never concede.